I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, be with us today as we deliberate the business of the county. Help us, Lord, to keep always in mind the best interest of our residents, Lord, what's best for them and what your wishes are for us. Ask us, Lord, to be kind and be gentle, be good. Ask all these things, Lord, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Well, very good. We just celebrated Veterans Day yesterday, so I'm proud to sit with two veterans. So, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Have you had a chance to look at the minutes from November 6th, 2024? Now, there was some,
I corrected that, so we'll be on that.
there was some corrections. There was a little bit of transference between building and grounds and building and planning. So,
Make a motion, we accept it.
Second.
okay, motion carried. Thank you. All right, Tony, what do you have for us?
Okay. First I have the USI Insurance Services quarterly payment in the amount of $9,000.
Okay, any questions on that?
Motion approved.
Second.
Okay. Motion carries, thank you.
Then we have Allied Weekly Health Insurance claims. And I verified the claimants. And that is in the amount of $95,854.82. And that was all medical. There was $813.61 stop loss, but medical 95,041, no, 95,854.82. Sorry about that.
All right, any questions on that? If not, I accept a motion to approve that claim.
So moved.
Okay, motion carries, thank you.
Okay, you all should have received, I scanned and sent you the monthly clerk report submitted by Shelley Bright.
Yep, have you had a chance to take a look at that?
I did. Make motion to enter that into the record.
Second.
Okay, motion carries, thank you.
Okay. And then we have the accounts payable claims. And those are in the amount of $535,105.42. You should have received that in the mail. She is actually currently working on that paperwork that she'll bring down in a few minutes for you guys to sign.
Since 2042?
535,105.42.
42.
All right, any questions on that? Have you had a chance to take a look at those?
Did I have no questions? I'd make a motion to accept.
Yeah, I didn't see anything either. I'll second that motion.
Okay,
She'll have
claims,
that paperwork down before the meeting's over.
claims approved as presented. All right.
And I believe that is all that I have.
All right, thank you, Tony. Nate, what all do you have for us today?
Just a few items and some good news. Bridge 58, that's the one on 5 North, just east of 400 West. Concrete overlay was placed yesterday on Veterans Day. Test cylinders will wait about 7 days to cure before we end up doing a brake test on those to verify the strength of the concrete. Once I have those results, we'll set an open date. I am still waiting on a date for the asphalt subcontractor to come out, do that work. So once I know the asphalt's been placed, the brick come up to the existing deck, and I know that the concrete has got adequate strength, and we'll be able to set an open date for that. So, but that's moving along. I'd say somewhat ahead of schedule, so.
How long do you usually leave those bridges closed after you do that?
I should have it at least a minimum of 7 days for that cure. So honestly, if the brake tests come back good next Monday, then it could be open as soon as I know that I've got the asphalt completed. So usually it's 7 days from the time of the pour. A lot of the schedule fluff that we have is depending on once you remove the existing concrete, you just don't know what you're going to find once you start working on that. So we have to give ourselves adequate time for removal, repairs. If you find steel that needs to be replaced, that can be time consuming along with the weather. So that's why I would look at 30 to 45 days on a project like that just because of the what if factor. But now that we've got that concrete overlay, the steel was in good shape. We're on the home stretch. Now people out there are going to see nothing happen for a week and they're going to wonder why we're not opening it. Well, it's a natural part of it. Just please keep equipment off of it so we don't damage the new concrete there. So that's where we're at with that project. Community crossings. If you saw in the paper recently, there was a notice that went out from NDOT. We received additional funds as the county through the second call of community crossings. That is targeted for our Bridge 155. That's the one 1,100 south. Spend on our first project for the year. So asphalt bids came in low on our first call, so we used the money, rolled it into a second project. That way we're getting that full $1.5 million for the year. It doesn't give us a perfect 75-25 split on the project, but that's the money that's committed towards this secondary project. So good for us, and kudos to everybody else. I know Decatur got some funding, Vernon got some funding. I didn't check the full list of everybody, but I know there's quite a few communities that received funding in this call. So I am asking for your permission to advertise Bridge 155 on Friday this week. Plans are ready to go, so we're going to try to immediately advertise it, the Firm Witness and the Decatur Democrat this Friday and the following Friday for bids to be due during your December 17th commissioner meeting.
Make a motion to approve that request.
Second.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you for pursuing that.
Yep, no, that's great news for us, and I'd hate to leave $300,000 on the table as something we should do a project with, so that works out well.
Bridges that need attention.
Yep. And then lastly, federal aid call opened last week, so I've started on the applications. We are applying on Bridge 27 and Bridge 105. I submitted grant permission paperwork internally at the October meetings for both council and commissioners. So I've got what I need from both parties to submit that, and the applications are due by December 6th. So I'm certainly hoping to have everything in well before Thanksgiving.
So on federal aid projects, then the actual construction is usually
Years.
out farther.
Potentially years in the future. It depends heavily on when they want to program it and the complexity of the project.
Okay.
I think the years for this are 28, 29 for the federal funds. One of these projects, I think we could do quite a bit faster than that, which is what I'm hoping to present to NDOT, both in the comments on my application and if there's an interview process, go through the scoping of what we've done internally ahead of time for both projects. So I'm hoping to help sell those to them, but on that application, I won't know anything until likely next March. And so it's usually early to mid-March before we'll ever find out about that. So, but there you go. Appreciate it.
Very good. Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Nate.
Thanks.
Brad? Did I see Paul here too?
Good morning.
Good.
All right, first thing we'll do is got a permit here. Get that away. It is for NIPSCO. And it's pretty simple. They're on Van Buren Street that runs out of Monroe right there before 100 North. They have some risers that come up. You've probably seen them, or they're just going to put some new posts in there, barriers to block that. And that's the only thing they're doing. I mean, it's going to help protect their risers, so I don't see a problem with it.
Very good. Accept a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
Okay, motion carries.
And then I'm gonna have Clayton come up. Present something together. Another thing. So Justin from Monroe had approached me, it's probably a couple months ago. There's a couple small sections of road that we take care of that he was wondering if we'd be willing to turn it over to him. So right there at Strict Trailer Corporation, where their fence starts for about, I don't know, was it 200 feet, 300 feet? Is the county highways, 200 feet?
Yep, 200 feet.
Is the county highways, and then the state takes over. Well, Justin asked, and I said, well, that's a no-brainer. Go ahead, and I would love to give you that 200 feet between the two. And that way it's theirs. All of Polk Street would be theirs that way. So that was the first one.
Didn't we turn over something to them last year?
Turned over this,
High Street, we did to Decatur a couple
Yes,
years
maybe
ago.
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like we've talked about this before, though. This
And I think
Polk
I
Street
brought this
extended
up
piece.
before, but this is the official now.
Okay.
Correct, yeah, so these are actually, I have prepared just deed of permanent right-of-way, where the Board of Commissioners would be deeding that right-of-way to the town of Monroe. So you have the Polk Street section, and then 000, so this would be the east side of 000? Van Buren?
Yeah, they already have part of it.
Yeah, so it's odd because, so down there on 000, the corporation lines for the town of Monroe, on the east side, it stops, and then on the west side, it goes down just south of the bus garage. So the west side of the road is right away for the town of Monroe, but the east side was right away for the county because of where the corporation lines sat. So I think Brad and Justin had talked about also, there's tract A and tract B based on the survey we did, and that's based on the two lots that are contiguous. But again, it would just be deeds of permanent right-of-way for those two tracts to make the town of Monroe be able to put that entire piece of road in their inventory. So I just now
Is
have,
that where the two speed limit signs out there didn't mesh up? It looked like the one was like quite a bit different.
very well could.
I didn't know whether they were going north or south on 000.
Oh, you know what? I guess I never paid that much attention.
Maybe
to
that
Yeah.
explains that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now I want to drive down there and see.
We've had that over the years.
Yeah.
Especially helping person.
Huh.
That's crazy.
So really, and I can give these to Tony for you guys to sign later, but it really would just require all three of your signatures on all three of these, and then I'll take them back, notarize them, and then get them recorded for the town.
what, you said 3 of them?
There is, so there's the one on Polk Street, and then there's two separate tracks on 000, and that's only because it's the right-of-ways that was previously provided by the deeded owners, and there's two lots that they're adjacent to, so we had to have two, a tract A and a tract B.
I'd accept a motion to approve those transfers right away.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Okay, motion carries. Thank you.
Then the only other couple things I have is just updates for you. Reminder, next week, we're opening paint striping bids. We've had a lot of interest in that, which is great. So then also, start dirt burning today. Until it rains in a couple days, so we're gonna give it a shot, get her going here. So,
Is there different qualities of paint? I know we've talked about that.
yeah, we actually, last time we did it, we did a multi-component. This time we requested epoxy. The epoxy should last longer depending on your type of traffic.
Good. Okay.
So, yeah. So, yep. But other than that, that's all I've got today, unless you guys got any questions.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's from Nate. He said we had approved that last week.
Yeah, that was the agreement you approved last.
This needs all of our signatures.
I think so, yeah. Alright. Rick, what do you have for us today?
I'll just give you a rundown on some updates. It's been a plugged up day. It's been a I'm too hot, I'm too cold day. It's been I need a key day.
How about my computer doesn't work in the treasurer's office day?
I wasn't involved in that one. Around the buildings, all the filters in the service complex were changed. Air handlers last Tuesday when no one was here. Mitsubishi unit, I kind of mentioned this before, it had a leak in it. Clerk's office, the main hallway, and the basement hallway, no air, no heat. Found the leak, it was in the clerk's office, way up there. It was a valve that was leaking, so that's being fixed as that I'm talking right now. But that's, should be fixed here shortly. And all the filters over there will be washed out and cleaned at that courthouse too. That's gonna be done today too. The new system that you approved for the steps, that should be completed today, if not tomorrow morning, installed. The new generator, it's gonna get filled up with diesel fuel today. It should, right now it's scheduled to maybe get it fired up Thursday.
And then you said Evapar has to do that.
Everpar has to do it, and Shamball will be here also. As right now, it's scheduled for Thursday unless change it or weather or whatever it may be. The generator over at the courthouse that we moved in, I'm gonna have it serviced hopefully this week yet. Two things that have occurred with it. One is the block heater's not working right, and the trickle charger for the battery, for some reason, is shorting out for some reason. I don't think it has anything to do with anything that we wire over there. It's just on the system because the block heater was working. So, see what's going on with that. And when
I
that,
wonder how old that generator actually is.
I don't know, I gotta go over there and take a picture of the serial numbers and things to send to them so they can be prepared when they come down here if they need to put something on it. I mean, it runs and it's producing, but we gotta get those things taken care of, which I think they're kind of minor in a sense. This happened on Friday. Jeremy, we're giving you a call, the water spontaneously, they kind of changed them, but the water was out in Superior Court. It didn't affect anywhere else. It was out for, it wasn't that long. The only reason why I'm bringing it up is thanks for the communication, Jeremy, and Superior Court was great to work with. They adjusted what they had to do over there. They didn't complain. They just did what they had to do. And it was kind of out over lunchtime, so that helped absorb it. But I can't say enough how they worked around it.
Good.
So that's what I got so far.
Well, I think John Summers might talk to you about the flagpole on the courthouse, so.
The one up top.
Any hope for putting that back up, or is it just kind of a non-functional?
Well, the last that I knew anything about it is the flag stuck up in the pole. You can't get it out. That's why, in as much as it was going on for a while, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of glad it was.
half-staff every time we turned around to go up there and back down, up there and back down. But
Sure.
But that's the reason why the brand new one got put up in the lawn. It's because it was stuck up there and there's gonna be fixed, probably. How much? I don't know.
Is that something you'd be willing to look into? I've had other people ask me about that too, and I always explain that it's a kind of non-functional system, so they replaced it with a flag in the
And
front
that's,
lawn.
that's the truth. That's what it is.
So,
I can, if you want me to.
maybe just look into it, and see if it's something. I don't know if there's a different system that could be put up there, or if this system can be repaired or made better. I don't.
It's nice John's asking the money to pay for it.
I think he's looking to maybe use up some remaining ARPA funds. So that was a part of the discussion, I think, was part of the ARPA discussion.
All right.
Maybe you just
Thank
get
you.
one that just hit a button and it'll go to half staff.
Yes. You do have something more modern today. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a crane is what it is. And I've even tried taking the handle off, putting a driver on it to run it up and back down. Like it won't seize up. It's just stuck. But I'll check into it.
All right. See what you come up with. I appreciate
Get my
it.
message, Rick? I don't know if I got the right, I don't know. I need a good phone number for you because the numbers I called, I got two ladies. It wasn't you.
That ain't good.
And then I left a message with somebody. It may not be
Get
you.
it, I guess.
We better leave that out of the paper. Yeah. What's your phone? What's a good cell for you?
has two ladies work. 260-849. 9721, leave that.
97-849-9721. Okay, good.
Yeah, because then you have more ladies calling in.
No, the reason I called, Taylor from our office took the mail over yesterday, and when she walked back, she walked by the courthouse and the generator out there was beeping, making noise. And she was worried about it. She said, "Who do we call?" I said, I'll call Rick.
I got a message, but that's what that beeping was, is that block heater.
Okay,
and that Battery.
yeah.
Charging it.
So I said,
So
oh,
this morning when I got here, I reset it.
okay, I figured it was nothing big deal, but
Yeah.
anyway, she was
You
worried
never
about
know.
it. Yep.
All right. Very good. Mark Wynn, Deanna.
Today. 200 north, between 300 east and Salem Road. Dad owned this whole property. This is not part of it. And it was split into two pieces. Son has already built a house here. He used this access to build the home, which he
Well,
did
there's
last year.
separate.
Since then, they've gone through the right channels eventually, put in a bridge. Now they're cutting this into two pieces, and they have an easement that takes them across the bridge and into his property. So it's 2 lots of land.
Okay. Motion to approve.
Second.
Not bad. Motion carried. Had some difficulty getting the bridge built. Wasn't quite doing it like we told them we had to do it. Cart before the horse, but we got there.
It's just here.
Oh, I was the one that was.
No, we'll open them.
Okay. I don't care.
No, we'll open them.
I don't care if she has it.
Hey, I can hear you then.
You guys stick around for bids or?
Yeah, for sure.
I just don't want to do it. Let me see what we got.
I'll give you $5 if you tell her we gotta wait till next week. If it's 20, I would. Okay.
Would they have had to survey that? Would they have surveyed that off when they did that subdivision? They would have, wouldn't they?
This?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, we were gonna open bids on that building, but we have to wait till next week.
And stop it.
Oh, wait, maybe they're, oh, I guess there they are.
Plan ready if they were gonna get postponed again.
Yeah.
It wouldn't go be pretty.
I've never seen anybody jump over this wall before.
On the table, we're gonna get thrown.
So nothing too special on the report. We were busy, as you can see, we did 55 permits. That's the most we've done this year for 1 month. Half is what we did last year. 31 behind the year. Last year, which last year was a record year. We did the most ever. These are still progressing. We're still doing stuff.
Very good, 6 new homes. So. All right, accept a motion to enter this report into record.
So move. Second.
All right, motion carries. Thank you.
We doing that now or I sitting back now?
I don't know, how do you want to do it, Mark? Do you want Mark to help you get those open and look at it? However you want to do it.
Well, right now. All right, so we solicited the request for proposals for quotes under, I think, was it 6 separate categories? Sure, might have been. Anyway, excavating, site prep was one. So I'd say let's start with what we at least suspect to be excavating. That would probably be that one, this one. So Division 1 would be excavating. Sprager Excavating submits a bid, Division 1 demolition, excavation, and site prep. It's $19,600.
That's Ryder?
19,000, no, Fraiger Excavating.
Fraiger.
Fraiger. Frauhiger. Fraiger.
Frogger.
Fraiger. How many? $19,600, $1,500 allowance for utility connections to the city. So
That's excavation, right, Mark?
Mhm.
Is it local here in Peter?
Gregor?
Yeah.
What?
Look.
All right, next bid is Brandon's Outdoor Services, also for excavation, demolition, excavation, and site prep. Bid total $17,250, allowance of $1,750 for utility connections to the city. That is their only bid is for Division 1.
Where's it from, Mark? What's that?
Who was that again?
Brandon's Outdoor Services, that's Brandon Wen. Burn.
Burn. All right, next one is Luganville Excavating, also Division 1. Demolition excavation. Bid total $13,600. Allowance for utility connection to the city, $800. So that's those. So the next, it looks like we've got 2 and 3. So I suppose we can open that one up. Division 2 is concrete and foundation, and 3 is framing. So we'll have to go through and really tabulate all of these. We'll just get them all open and we'll have to take them under advisement. This is Marquee Builders in Bern, Division 2, Concrete and Foundation, $45,455. And estimated date to commence would be December 9th, and time for completion, 25 working days. Division 3, Framing, $168,435, 10 working days from notification based on weather. And so that's Division 2, Division 3, and Marquee Builders from Bern. Next one.
Just watching.
435. All right. Next one is from Amos Schwartz, Amos W. Schwartz from Monroe. And they've got a bid on Division 3, which is just framing. And that bid is $86,000. Estimated date to commence, week or so after concrete. All right. Next one is from Martin Schwartz Concrete, Division 2, Concrete and Foundation. They're out of New Haven. Bid total for Division 2, $41,322.60. Time for completion, 10 days. And that's that. Next bid is from Junior Construction, Spencerville, Indiana. Bid for Division 2, Concrete and Foundation, $44,982. Time for completion, 7 days. Estimated date to commence, 14 days. 14 days of notice to commence, basically. All right, that one.
Where's it from, Mark, that one?
Spencerville.
Spencerville.
Next one. Now, this is, here, I'll give you these here. I don't know if we got any more for framing or.
That Marvin Schwartz, was that concrete or framing?
Concrete.
Concrete.
There wasn't a Marvin Junior.
Junior.
Marvin Junior. Oh, Martin Schwartz.
Martin,
Martin was
yeah.
concrete.
All right, next bid is from DH Electric. Their quote for the electric, Division 5 electric is $19,605.37. Time for completion, 7 days.
Where's it from, Mark?
And that's Bern. $19,605.37. That's DH Electric. All right, there's their. It's all goes, there's. All right, next one, Hofstetter Electrical Services. They're also in Bern. And Division 5 Electric, bid total $37,532.50. Time for completion, 10 days. Okay. Next bid, Blakey Electric from Decatur. Division 5 Electric, bid total $20,866. $20,866. Blakey Electric.
B-L-E-E-K-E.
BLEEKE.
Okay, good.
Next one is Coppersmith Electric.
Burn.
What was it, Mark?
Bern. Again, Division 5 Electric, $23,000. $23,000. Next bid is Leak Deep Brothers. They're in Bern. That's Division 4 Plumbing, $20,574. $20,574. Also have a bid from Leakey Brothers for Division 6 HVAC, total $6,652. That's $6,652.
Wow, that's for electrical?
No, that's HVAC, $6,652
Oh.
for HVAC. The plumbing was $20,574. So then they've got a combination. Next bid is from Masters Heating and Cooling. Bid is for Division 6 HVAC, total $12,490. $12,490.
And who's that from?
Masters. Here. Last bid is Don Myers Plumbing and Heating. They got a bid for Division 4 Plumbing, $26,780. That's $26,780. Also a bid for HVAC is $6,690. $6,690. All right. I guess I see, take those bids under advisement so we can kind of tabulate them and see where we're at.
Did we get a bid under each one of the different subsections? Do we get something for everything?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Make a motion, we take those bids under advisement?
Second. All right, thank you.
Okay, is that something you can bring a recommendation next week?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'll take it in 20 minutes. I'm good at it.
Well, and, yeah, well, I mean, you might as well bring it back next week and then we can act on it. So,
What do you think about excavation?
I mean, if you have a recommendation on excavation,
Why
then,
don't you give them a few minutes to kind of look over
Sure.
everything? And then-
Yeah, that'd
I'll
be
come
great.
back at the end.
Maybe we come back on something like that.
Good.
Seems like
yeah.
To most people like ask, I've never said that I don't have time, or it's gonna be summer, so.
we can also figure out kind of where we're at. Because it's budget.
Make all the money.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Yep, all right, thanks.
Ben, who you got driving the excavator?
$190,000.
All right, very good. Thank you for going through those. Thank you for putting those, specs together and getting ready to get out to bid. So, yeah, if he comes back with a recommendation and,
Yeah, I asked him to go take a close look at the excavating bids and then also, total cost bid based upon the low quotes that we have to see if we're within budget.
What was the budget again, do you remember? What was the budget, Michelle?
Originally it was 155, but that's blown, so I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how much.
I don't know, I just ballparked all the lows and I think we're over that, but
Not too hard.
not scarily over. Not scary over. I did it in my head, which is pretty dangerous. I probably shouldn't comment on that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to remember how much we have appropriated out of, seeded and out of.
well, currently they get $100,000 a year. And you've already got your allowance for this, for 24, right? So, I mean, the other option would have been to do 2 years allowance in the spring of 25 to cover construction costs, but you know, that would be one option that would cover the
What did I say?
project.
190, yeah. All of those bids.
I think we're under 200.
Okay, yeah, and I thought we were gonna be
The framing.
close to that anyway or more.
Those two bids are so broad.
Do we know wasn't there ARPA money set aside for this?
Something other than she did, like that.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I don't know that we did ARPA money.
I don't see anything when I just looked under ARPA.
I don't know.
If you remember approximately when it was, I go back and look in the minutes.
Yeah.
It wasn't ARPA, but it's not in the ARPA list.
Okay.
You see that framing stuff? Well,
That's a number that would scare me.
what's wrong?
The framing.
The framing's
bids
double.
Are so spread.
Everything else seems
Wonder
to
what
be
got
close
missed.
except for the framing.
If I'd put that estimate together, I'd be going, oh, shit.
Okay.
14.
Well, but you get, it depends on how many bids we get in each division too.
5 divisions.
Mhm. What's the low, what was the low bid on framing?
86 and the high was 168. That's double.
Yeah. And we only had two.
Yeah, I thought there was only a couple.
Yeah.
That's when you really have to look at the specs they filled out.
I wonder if he's gonna come back with a recommendation on concrete also. That would be the big thing to get in before.
Yeah, excavation.
He
and
could
concrete.
come back with recommendation on all, really.
Well, but I think until you make sure you got your funding in place. And I think you've got the funds obviously to do the excavation and concrete. And so the question is, do you go ahead and approve those? And then we make sure that, you've got the funds lined up for the rest.
Yeah. Anything else till he gets back?
Oh,
You
Clayton,
know, like
Clayton,
council
don't you have
was
something?
debating How they were gonna fund it. Yeah, I think they agreed to fund it. It's just a question of how they, where the money was coming from.
So we've talked multiple meetings about an increase in the equine drawn vehicles license plate, annual registration fee. As such, and Tony, I do not have a number. What would this ordinance number be?
Give me a second.
What is the thing now, Clayton?
How much are buggy plates right now?
120.
Ordinance 2024-22 is what we're up to.
So it would be ordinance 2024-22, short title reads, an ordinance of the Board of Commissioners, County of Adams, State of Indiana, which provides for the continued licensing of equine drawn vehicles and the collection of license fees. An equine drawn vehicle shall mean any and all buggies, carriages, drays, carts, wagons, covered or open, in which an equine animal is designed and intended to provide the means of locomotion other than implements used strictly for husbandry. That was probably the biggest change rather than equine rather than horse-drawn, because I think the highway would admit that there was some problems previously with, it's not a horse pulling this, so it's a pony. So to encapsulate any and all, we changed that definition. The annual license fee in this proposed would be raised to $175, and that annual fee shall incrementally increase by $10 annually for the next 10 years. Going over enforcement and exemptions. The sheriff of Adams County shall be the party enforcing this ordinance. Exemptions, implement and equipment used exclusively for agricultural and or husbandry purposes are exempt. Violations in general, an owner or operator of an equine drawn vehicle who violates this ordinance shall be subject to a fine up to $1,000. Replacement plates, rather than after the original, replacement plates would remain at replacement fee of $25. Yeah, so for the purposes of today, really, it's just to introduce this ordinance because we will have to have a public hearing prior to its adoption. I just want to
So
present it. Do you
do
have any
we-
questions?
Take any kind of action before the public hearing?
No, just approve the first reading of it. It's been introduced. So you approve the introduction of the ordinance, the first reading, and table it till after you hold a public hearing.
So I guess I'd ask for a motion to approve the first public reading
So move.
Second.
and move forward with a public hearing.
Okay, so we'll work to get that scheduled.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good.
County,
Not until it's adopted.
I presented at the September 10th meeting both, so if they talked about money, it would be in either of those.
I know under ARPA, the Merit Center, there was $200,000, but that's all been spent. So it can't be out of that.
Brad, refresh my memory. How long has it been since we raised the buggy place?
2017.
17, so it's been 8 years?
So, yeah, basically, it'll be a year.
It'll be 8 years when it goes into effect, since we raised it.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, well, how do we want to schedule that public hearing then? Do we want to, I assume we have to have it advertised for a minimum number of days. And then do you want to hold it in Monroe or Byrne? I know the last time we had a public hearing on buggy plates, we held it at the Senior Citizens Center in Byrne. So I don't know if that would be appropriate again to do it the same way.
Was that large enough venue at that point?
It was standing room only. But at that time, they weren't just raising the rates. They were also requiring a registration sticker on the axle. And that was a big concern. So I shouldn't say to just raise rates, but to raise rates, there won't be any additional requirements on registration. So.
Well, we've also held meetings before at the 4-H building. And that's, plenty big, but if you don't need it, you don't need it, but it's a central location and maybe we see about that.
Sure. All right.
I found,
Set that up.
Brad, do you want,
We'll have to check with scheduling the 4-H.
Yeah.
yeah. Does your office want to do that, or should we let Brad do that, or how?
It's up to you, Brad. You want to check?
It's not that big a deal to do that, but we just need to know the date.
I would say contact, extension office and find out, sort of, some sort of,
The dates.
yeah, get some dates.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Do you think that maybe we ought to think about doing it in Byrne? That'd be more of the center for the Amish. Monroe's center for the county, but for the Amish, I think Byrne's more center for.
Yeah, wherever you
They
wherever
are.
you guys want to have it.
the South Adams Senior Center held one when we did the wheel tax hearings.
Right.
And then we had one at 4-H.
That's fine.
That's the only thing I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Brad, check with South Adams Senior Center. Is that at the park?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right there.
Get some date availabilities.
Okay.
Because, yeah, that probably holds about 100 people, doesn't it, till you set chairs, or? I mean, it's bigger than what you realize, I
I
think.
think it's more. I think it's more than that.
Is it?
Mhm. You want to have it after the first of the year, or are you planning on doing it yet this year?
Well, when it's enacted,
Start collecting in March.
so will this affect the collections in 25?
That's kind of, yeah, that's kind of what we were aiming.
Well,
for.
then I'd say the sooner the better.
Yeah,
So,
that needs advertised for how long?
10 days.
The next, okay. All right, I'll get some dates and let you guys know.
okay.
On the Council on Aging Transportation Garage, Michelle came in September. And the minutes read, Council on Aging Director Michelle Lingrich is present to discuss a county-owned garage to be constructed on county land. There will need to be a discussion about where to pay the cost from. The Council on Aging Director will get quotes to the commissioners, and then we'll come back to council about payment.
I'm
That's
gonna
the way I remember them kicking the Where's the money coming from? Can down the road.
Okay.
But we don't want to hold excavation and demolition up until after December council meeting. do we?
From your minutes, Tony, do you believe that they approved the project? Just the question was where the funding was coming from. That's kind of the way I remember it.
I remember it. That's what I.
That's scary.
I think that was the ones. Let me do some more. That was the council minutes that I read there.
Well, they approved the purchase of the ground and the payment to the city of Decatur, so you're already in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think they said it was a good idea that it was county owned.
It's
Yeah.
committed to me.
So I think either way here, it's committed.
yeah.
I'm gonna be gone on December 3rd and the 10th, and I'll be back on the 16th, so I guess I'll be back for the meeting on the 17th. So just, but I'm sure Clayton, will you be around? Always.
I think she just came.
Not that I have to be here, but that's when I'm gonna be out.
Well, hopefully he'll come back with a recommendation here during this meeting yet, and then we can award at least the demolition and maybe even the concrete. And based on the previous consensus of council to accept the project and move ahead with the project, could we go ahead and award those bids then?
Yeah, I think you got funds, so I think you can go ahead and do demolition and concrete, and then let's take a week to figure out where the rest is, what's committed.
Because even the framing, some of the lead times on their framing were pretty short, to where if we get concrete in, they can frame and get you closed in before weather hits. So,
It's an investment in a building. I mean, they can.
okay,
No, it looked like the framing was gonna go pretty quick.
yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question, Nick can be off the record. In the previous meeting, when you and Corey were dialoguing about that, the funding for the jail or whatever, you said that if they couldn't come up with a way to fund it, that you weren't going to spend any more money. And I talked to him a whole bit after, and of course, his thing was he doesn't want to spend taxes, but he said there's other ways to do it. Can you explain a little bit kind of what you're thinking about that?
Well, I guess I'd kind of like to stay on this subject and I guess we've kind of got that wrapped up too. And let's kind of get through our reports and then we can open it up to the general questions, if you're okay with that, so.
I don't need a lot. I can even talk to you afterwards.
Okay.
I'm not gonna write anything about what your comment is. I just wonder what you.
Yeah, we can talk about that for sure.
Okay.
So, anything else attorney-wise, I think, are you guys okay with going ahead to award the demolition and concrete bids if he comes back with a recommendation? Okay.
Well, I would wait until, I wouldn't adjourn. I would just wait until he comes.
Right, wait till he comes back, yeah. Okay. Anything else from the attorneys?
And it may need to include plumbing, because that plumbing's gonna be in the concrete.
Well, that's true. So plumbing, we have 2 bids on that, so.
Right now, you have them under advisement, but if he comes back,
Mhm.
then they could vote
Mhm.
on. Okay.
Yeah.
The ones that they can.
3 bids for plumbing. Oh, no, Masters was just the HV.
I only see 2.
Yep, there's 2.
Sorry,
Okay.
my fault.
Alright. Very good. Just question on, unless, did you have anything else? Question, any progress as far as looking into the use of Golden Meadows? As far as lease or is there anything you want to talk to us or wait, come back with something?
I don't have anything really concrete that's been proposed yet.
Okay.
All right.
I have a lot of research done, but not really anything concrete to share.
Nothing to share, okay,
But yeah, making headway on it.
okay. Very good. I appreciate you working on that. That's got potential too, so.
I'd say you could probably just take a recess here until Mark comes back and
So do we want to talk about those ARPA projects,
Well,
Stan?
let's see if Shannon has anything to report.
Okay.
I just have one thing. A couple weeks ago, you guys approved our insurance rates for 2025. So the dental rates, we always make them divisible by 2, just to make it easier, so there's no penny rounding or anything. So I didn't have those when I got this first approved. So I've updated these by a couple pennies just on dental. So I just need you to reapprove them for me, please.
Oh,
Because I got the contract last week, so.
all right. Okay,
Motion approved.
second.
okay.
Hold on.
Well, that was easy enough.
Was-
All right. Jeremy, did you want to come up? You had something about the covered bridge?
A few years back when the ARP funds was approved for county park improvements, park board began to lay out additional capital improvement plans. One of the things that we've talked about a few times, and I know Steve's been involved with it, is at the covered bridge, we've been seeing a lot of graffiti and just a lot of different vandalism, over the past several years. Earlier, about a year or so ago, you guys had paid Liberal Construction to repaint, tighten up, do a lot of maintenance on the outside, a little bit on the inside, and tightening up the trusses on the bridge itself. Met with Innovative Concepts on a few different occasions, just kind of looking at possible camera system, basically just to help deter, and if there was issues at the site, we had proof of who it is. We also have things in the park itself, or in the park area that goes on. Just kind of want to get a feel from you guys as if you would approve something like that or not. The cost would be around $5,500. It would come from Innovative Concepts. We would be on our own network. We would not be on the county's network. It is the same system, it's a geo system that I know, like the Sheriff's Department uses. I use it within the city parks. The Decatur Police Department uses it. So it's a well-known system that we can log into here. We don't have to drive all the way down there. It is compatible. If there is a major issue down there, that the Sheriff's Department can log into it from dispatch even. Aside from the $5,500 or right at 55, there would be like a $30 a month internet bill or service for that to be able to remotely be able to log on to it, have access. So as we get down to the end here on ARP funds, that has always been in the plan. It's just we were trying to figure out some other things before we actually got to that portion to determine.
So do you think you'll have the money available in the ARPA
Yes, I do.
allocation to spend that?
I know I do. I have that
Sure.
money set aside just prior to approval.
I know the park board has talked a lot about how to protect the bridge down there, and they really felt like that the camera system would be helpful.
It gets pretty graffitied up in different rooms.
That's what I was just trying to look as far as, is that covered bridge fund in commissioner's budget or in the special funds?
Should be in the commissioners. See, that covered bridge is our responsibility to keep it painted and tightened up and everything, so.
That's
And,
right.
and that's why I'm here, the park board does not have a problem using some of that ARP money for that, but
That's what I can't find.
Does that $30 a month go on for
it's forever.
forever?
Yeah.
So maybe next year it could be 35, huh?
It depends on if the rate from Verizon goes up or not, Verizon or AT&T, where will we get it from? We've not chosen a provider yet at this point. It was just the
35 is just a general monthly rate.
Who'll be in control of the cameras?
We would be, the Parks Department.
So you'll keep that, I mean, for months or years or
Yes.
how is that?
There's a time frame that you can automatically go back and look at, but then you can also download it onto like a stick or drive or something if something does happen. Or you start to see different
Do something with the.
different things that maybe have a pattern to it.
Just out of curiosity,
Yeah.
I know there's vandalism on the BD being painted on it, the inside of the bridge, but what other vandalism is happening down there?
Just a lot of different things in the park itself, like around the pavilion.
Okay, would those cameras be in the bridge, out of the bridge,
They
or?
would, the one, there was like 3, I believe, and I'm going off memory speaker. I believe there was 3 domes inside the bridge itself, the dome cameras. And then there was one out towards the front. And then kind of around the side of the actual bridge itself. So you're getting inside the bridge and then you were getting more kind of a shot, across the parking lot.
Maintaining these cameras, is that our responsibility?
Yes, it would be. Yes, it would be. For the most part, as long as you don't have any vandalism or weather gets to them, they're pretty durable.
Last 5 years, how much damage have we had down there?
Quite a little bit. We go down there frequently and painting over different things inside the bridge.
Well, I think it sure makes sense to me.
the-
Put
the-
them down there.
The bridge gets loaned out for different weddings and stuff. And, if you don't catch it, then
Was that $30 how often per month?
per month, yes.
Oh,
And basically,
there.
that's just for the remote. So
There it is, Dale. We got just under 10,000 in that covered bridge account right now, so.
And so, I'm assuming that $30 fee per month. I'd figure out if that would come out of that, or if that was a utility, or that I'll figure that out if you go
Okay.
for it.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Jeremy, at this point, you're thinking though that you would take the purchase price out of the ARPA
If I
allocation?
needed to, yes, I could.
Yeah.
You could probably do that without approval because it's already
He's
been.
already got it approved.
Yeah.
He just needs to get
Yeah.
contracted and send the bill, submit a bill,
Yeah.
or submit
I'm
a
I'm
proposal.
asking-
So you're here, since you have the money and you really don't need, what are you wanting to know today then?
I'm asking because the bridge is commissioner owned. It's not owned by the park department.
Well, yeah, that's what, so he's asking for permission to put them up,
Oh,
not
to move the
permission,
cam, okay, I
not
understand.
permission to pay.
Gotcha.
Make motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Thanks for coming back in.
Not a problem.
Yeah. Because you probably don't have anything else much going on.
Not too bad today.
Yeah. All right. Did you ladies have, or you want to go ahead with Mark?
I'll go ahead. We're still kind of looking at my cameras.
I didn't know if Megan was here to protest the buggy plate increase. or not.
Protest her
I
boss.
think they need to wear paper bags.
Oh,
Don't go where.
Do you want this, or it's the one that's not
I don't.
signed? I just
I
read
forget what it is.
the debris management plan. I just reflected some of the indents and stuff.
No. I just opened it.
Okay. all right. What all do you have for us?
So a couple of meetings ago, Megan and I came and mentioned that we were working on our Adams County debris management plan. That has been completed. We sent that to Bree and Tony last week. We sent out to all of you to review. I don't know if you've had time to do that.
I have not. I have to read that.
Okay.
I have not.
So we
Did you
did
send that to us, Tony? Is it in my inbox somewhere?
If they did, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I don't
He sent it, I
remember.
didn't see it.
Or I
so
may have thought they were going to Idaho. With the holiday off and everything, I could have missed it.
Okay, well,
But
we
anyway,
brought
here it
a
is.
copy of it. So we would like for you to be able to review that. And if you sign it, if you disagree, let us know what you would like to see changed on it. Once you guys approve that, then towards the end of the document, there is a signature page for every community to agree to follow this debris management plan if something were to happen in the county. So we didn't want to send it out to them to sign until we knew you guys were happy.
Sure.
There's a lot of signatures on
There's a
this.
lot of people that have to agree that they're going to comply.
Can we have until next week to look it
You
over?
can have as long as you want.
And Tony, I'll send you the updated one that has the.
I'm looking for that and I'm not, here it is. Hard copy of it. Here it is.
It's updated the formatting and stuff.
I must have replied back to you because you said we can print and bring to the meeting, but it will not have the department signatures.
Right.
Just out of curiosity, I guess from a
I'll send it to them now.
legislative standpoint, do we have the power to tell all the cities and towns that they have to follow this?
What's that? I was,
You probably need to
Do
look
we
at it.
have the right, like, I mean, there's like Burn City and Adams County EMS and everybody on here has to sign it saying they'll follow it. I mean, do we have the right to tell them that they have to follow it, I guess?
They have the right to refuse it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're putting that out,
But then they take care of their own debris.
then they're,
Gotcha, okay.
I would assume if they don't sign
Okay.
up to our debris management plan, they would have to create their own debris management plan.
exactly.
So the onus is on them then to create a plan that's acceptable to the state.
Yes.
Gotcha.
yeah, we can't make them sign it, but at the
Okay.
same time, yeah.
If they want to be a part of our plan, they have to sign
And
on.
I mean, in my viewpoint, it's an advantage
Sure.
Sure.
because so many people in this county have multiple responsibilities, whether it be first responder jobs or, county jobs or city jobs. I mean, we all cover each other all the
Sure.
time anyway, so,
Okay. All right, well, if we can have another week to look at it.
yeah.
I did just forward that to all of you. You should have it now.
Okay.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Because you were probably gonna forward it Monday and then.
Do you want this one back?
Oh, you can keep it.
Okay.
Oh, I thought they were just gonna print it.
I'll just take that.
Because I can't,
Good deal.
once I leave here, it'll be,
Yeah, you keep it.
that's why I asked that hard.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, very good. Mark just stepped down again, so.
I think I hear it.
Now he's gone.
Okay, let me, oh, here he comes, okay. All right, Mark. Came back just in time. One of the things that we talked about after you left was if you had a recommendation on both excavating and concrete, we could move those two things forward. Right?
Plumbing.
And plumbing
They
also.
can do it all.
Plumbing also.
Hard.
So,
Yeah.
Was that the same thing like that? Okay.
Oh, Jody.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay. They got them. Hey, Mark, were there any combinations that threw it off?
No.
Okay, do you want to go down through these by division?
So. See, there are definitely some differences in prices on some things. They all have the same paperwork, so.
So they were all given exactly the same specs. Framing was the one that threw us.
Yeah, well, that's wild too, but that actually lines up with the first time I got a price from Arnold's. That's actually Arnold's.
Oh,
It was
really?
W as a.
Okay, good.
Cool.
All right, well, let's start with Division 1. Is that where you want to?
Division 1, so excavation, which obviously we handed out the blueprints. A couple of guys even called, asked for questions. They're all remotely close, obviously, or not terribly far apart. Loganville is definitely the lowest at 13.6. And Brandon at 17,250 and Kroger at 19.6. I would have no reason to think there's no reason to not give it to the lowest one on that.
Okay.
He had a time of, I believe the 25th was an estimated start date, because we were asking for estimated. If somebody said they couldn't start till July, then we might not care if it was a low price, yeah, because I don't think we want to wait till July.
25th of November?
Yeah, yes.
Mark, when that's done, can I get those amounts and so just to get in the minutes
Okay,
with the minutes all said and done?
Did I give you a sheet?
No, I didn't get a sheet. Now I've got a sheet.
Sorry, I passed right past you.
All right.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Make a
Okay.
motion on new standard.
Hey, Mark, what's the
Uh,
allowance mean?
The wood allowance.
let's do them
We asked-
together, I
we asked
suppose.
them
Unless
for
you
allowance.
want to take them separately. Well, it's up to you.
Yeah, I'm just,
Since it's not all the same company. I think
Yeah.
it's maybe- I think
That'd
we're
be fine.
fine.
Take them separately? Okay,
Yeah.
sure. So I take a motion on,
There you go.
on accepting the recommendation for Division 1 to Luganville Excavating for 13.6 with an $800 allowance with a start date of 11/25 and 24.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay, I'll vote in favor of that also. Okay, very good. Okay, Division 2.
So that's concrete and foundation work. We had 3 bids there, all very close. Martin Sports Construction is in the Grable area, Junior Construction. Where he's from, Shelbyville, and Marquis Builders on the Burn. I had asked for a couple more, so I didn't just ask 3, but that's what we got. So 41, 44, and 45. Again, I have no reason to think any of those have anything missing. They've all called me. I actually went to Martin's house and went through exactly what was needed. And so I would have no reason to not think that the lowest bid would be good on that one.
Okay.
Make a motion to accept the bid of Martin Schwartz Construction for $41,322.60 on Division 2.
Did he give any kind of a indication on a start date?
He said first part of December. Beginning of December.
How long will that excavation take, did they say?
At the time, I think it's only like a few days.
Okay. I'll second that on the Martin Schwartz
Okay,
concrete
motion
foundation.
carries, thank you. All right, Division 3, framing.
And framing, I asked for, I think, 5 or 6 different bids. I only got 2. MSW Sports is technically, you could put quotations, that's on the number. 86,000. And then Marquis Builders, 168,435. That includes all the framing, all the steel that's inside and out, insulation, overhead doors, overhead door openers. So when they get done, it's a completed building. All the doors are up, doors are up, no electrical heating. I mean, electrical goes over the top. We bid it as conduit exposed. Amos wrote down it would only take him about 5 days to completely build the building. He would be
So,
ready, he said, he put down a week or 2 after the concrete's done.
okay,
and that
Same.
includes the doors, overhead doors?
same type of construction as far as stick built, I mean, neither one of them's,
They both had the same parameters.
Okay.
And yeah, it's 2x6 framing, steel, we had to put OSB on the outside for strength that the engineer wanted. House wrap.
so even with the difference in price, your recommendation is,
I would go with the MSW Sports number.
all right. I'd say accept the motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. And you said, he said 5 days after concrete?
I believe it. I've seen it.
Okay.
If it was a boulevard, it'd be 3.
Wow.
And it's not a complicated building.
No, it's 4 walls.
Yeah,
Not tough.
all right, very good. Do we want to go ahead with Division 4 plumbing?
Yeah, you're gonna need to for the concrete.
Okay,
We only got one bathroom, but I suppose this is the floor drains probably.
It is. So we had to put in, one thing that jacked the price, is the floor drains have to go through a separator, grease trap, and then, which is about $5,000 tank, before it goes into the sewer. It has to go into the sewer. So it's requested by the city. So they both think masters, they were going to be implemented too, but they didn't. So we just had the two, Lichty Brothers out of Bern and Myers Plumbing.
Okay.
Make a motion to accept the low bid from Lichty Brothers for $20,574.
Second.
Okay, vote in favor also. Now, there again, time frame, did they give any kind of?
They'll have to work with the concrete guys.
Yeah, they'll be there when I tell them to be there. It's their time frame. When the job is ready.
Good. Very
Is
good.
that trap something that has to be ordered, that grease trap? Is that something?
Well, it'll be outside the building.
Oh, well.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we'll place that on the outside.
All right, good.
Okay. Did we have a motion on that one already? or-
Yes.
Okay, all right, then that one carried. So Lichty Brothers is concrete for plumbing. All right, Division 5 Electrical.
Again, DH Electric, which is Doug Hill, in the Monroe area. Blakey Electric, Cater, Coppersmith, Kern, Electric is Bern. We were close one, but Doug is the one that gave me the original price. I tried to get some numbers just to get an idea of what it would cost the first time around. And totally confident with everything he was going to put in there. The interior lighting, we've got automatic sensors on the ceiling so that when you drive in, two banks will turn on, and after you get out of your car and start walking to the walkout door, banks will light up for you, and then they'll turn off. So you don't have to come into a dark building that, nowadays when it's dark at 5:30, I'm sure people are still driving at night, right? So it should light up more.
Okay, recommendation on that,
I would, yes.
low bid?
Yep.
Okay. I'd accept a motion to approve the contract for DH Electric at 19,605.37.
No time frame on when he can start.
12/20, estimated time frame.
12/20. Make motion to.
What's Blakey's timeline?
You said December 20th, 12/20.
Actually work together. They know each other. Whoever was low is going to take the lead.
December 20th, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
See, that's the
You make a
difference
motion.
between collusion
Second.
and cooperation.
Well, when I asked the second person and I said, who was bidding it, he goes, oh, I don't like to bid against him. We're related and I got this and that. He goes, well, I'll talk to him. So the prices weren't the same. They didn't turn them in separate. They didn't talk about that.
Good. Well, very good. That should be a good effort there.
HVAC was 2 Resner heaters hanging from the ceiling.
Okay, and your recommendation on that? Man, those guys are close.
Yeah, super close. I would give it to Leakey Brothers since they're
Okay, I'd accept a motion on Division 6 HVAC for Lichty Brothers.
Motion to approve Lichty Brothers.
Second.
Okay, motion carries. So. All right,
Yeah,
so,
contract.
okay. Get contracts, I might get them working.
yes, I did. Yeah. Very good.
Thank you very much.
Well, we appreciate your research and appreciate the putting specs together, getting bids out, getting them back. And so it looks like all of the contractors that we have awarded
will work with us in a very timely manner and get things done. And since he's doing electric on 1220, I don't know if he's putting Christmas lights up too. I don't know.
If the weather holds out, we can get dirt work on concrete in. There'll be a building standing there real soon.
Very good.
So we need to take that back to council then to figure out which pocket they're gonna pull the money out of.
Yep.
Who will do that?
I would say put it on the,
Get it on the agenda.
get it on the agenda for December. When we get the invoices, we can pay bills, you know.
Well, Michelle, I know this has been a long walk till we got our construction plans that were engineer stamped, approved by the state. I think we've had to make some adjustments on those plans to get them approved by the state. And, you know, specs put together and it's just been a long process rather than just doing a project on our own to where we just go out and hire somebody and say do it, so.
I'm straightforward getting to this stage, so
Yeah.
we can leave the winner a little bit.
They give you triple pay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, also a lot of thanks goes to Mark, having his construction background and experience, and then him and I working together and him being willing to do this. He's put a lot of time into it, effort, so hopefully that doesn't go unnoticed. But that, you know, the county being able to general this project this way is saving you a considerable amount of money, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you were to turn it over to a general,
Oh, you
you
can,
probably had 20%.
oh, I'd double it.
Did it double it?
Well, you saw the difference in the framing alone.
Yeah.
So, no, I think it's very, for what's being done, that's a very competitive price. It's a very, very reasonable price in today's market.
All right. Very good. Thank you both very much. All right. How soon will those contracts be here?
This week.
All right. Jim, what did you have for us? You had a question before. No?
It's not that big of a deal.
Okay. Well, I didn't want to not take your question. I just thought we're working through the,
No, we have a lot
Agenda.
of time in there, and I was just gonna ask, but it's not, I think, that big at all.
okay.
You're
Hey.
good.
Anything else from the general public? Okay, gentlemen, do you have any reports on any committees?
The, Clayton, that American Structure Point contract, the change that they have proposed back to us. So do we need to reapprove that then with that change, or look at that change, or what do you think?
I mean, and you guys could probably just do it, I mean, even based on your review. I mean, I'm fine with it. I did, yes, we should just reapprove with the change.
American Structure Point came back with a limitation of liability clause that they wanted to add to the contract for the consulting work they're going to do on the vision project, the countywide vision project. Looked reasonable to me. I think they wanted to limit their liability to, if I remember correctly, $50,000, or there was an or there that had to do with the value of the project, but I felt like it was probably some boilerplate language from their attorneys that limited their liability.
Oh, those clauses drive me nuts, but
Yeah. It didn't, I mean, I don't see how they're going to incur any liability on this project anyway. So didn't bother me.
I always tell them that's why you have liability insurance. Why are you trying to limit your liability? You have insurance, right?
Clayton, am I remembering that correctly? Was that the only change that they proposed?
Yeah, it was.
Other than that, they would accept a contract exactly like we had drafted it and approved it. So I would make a motion that we would approve that one change to the American Structure Point contract so we can get that signed and they can get working to accept their limited liability paragraph that they added.
All right. So if you guys approve that, then we can have Stan sign it this week.
Make a motion.
Second it.
Okay, very good.
Thank you, Stan. Sign it this week.
This week.
And
Yeah. Fix it, put it in, I'll have you sign it in a little bit.
Okay. Did you get a chance to go out with Doug Fogg?
That's what I was gonna bring it up. He couldn't last week and I called him yesterday and he never returned the call. So after this meeting adjourns, Brad and I are going out there and I didn't know if you or Steve wanted to ride along so we could all see what he wants done. But we're taking Brad's truck and we're driving out there to look at it as soon as
Yeah,
that
if
meeting's
you guys
over.
go out there, that's fine.
Okay, that's what I wanted to bring that up and Doug
Okay.
never got back with me yesterday.
Good, yeah.
After I
Appreciate
got
you
a
guys
hold of
doing
him, so
that.
we're gonna run out there today.
Good, good, good. I figured you know a lot more about that than I would.
So that's what we're gonna do. I didn't know if you guys wanted to run along.
Okay.
That's what bring it up.
I don't need to go. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, no, I
Good.
rode with Brad before you go.
Especially out through the field.
That'd be neat.
Yeah. Oh, you know, there's trees falling his truck, so I don't know.
Hopefully not on this one.
All right, very good. If there's nothing else from you guys or the general public,
Stan, did we want to look at those that ARPA spreadsheet and see if there was anything else we needed to do there?
That I
Well,
can, I just.
Trying to wrap up some of those projects or make sure we're going to have,
I just say reasonable to-
for instance, in the clerks project, the scanning project or the records project, you know, we've got $500,000 set aside there of ARPA money. But I think her project right now, her contract is to spend half of that. So,
my thought is we're probably gonna have to meet with everyone individually that's submitted an appropriation, find out the details of, what's going on. So I don't know if that's something we can discuss and solve here or something that we have to get a little bit more in detail with, like Shelley,
okay.
you know, and find out. I'm not trying to put you off, but I'm just thinking, I don't know how much we solve by trying to guess where these appropriations are at.
Well, one of them that I'm aware of is, again, that countywide vision project where we had $200,000 of ARPA money set aside, and their contract is only for $176,000, I think.
Okay.
So there'll be $24,000 of uncommitted funds there. An option for that would be to go back to them and have them create an ad to that proposal that would work with the plan commission to revise the comprehensive land use plan. But I mean, that's kind of fishing. I don't.
That would cover it in case something does come up, because
Yeah.
you will have obligated the full 200,000 if it ends up being needed.
Welcome to appropriate that bridge 155 match, whatever you don't use. Throw right on that.
And you know, I think we may need something like that in our back pocket for all of those.
A project to fund it against, there's plenty of projects in the works that we could essentially expend that money, so you're not getting it back.
Well, that's what my fear is, more that we're going to get to December 31st and they're going to be taking money back because we don't have, but if we have a big project that we can just say any uncommitted funds, we're going to go to this project, then I'm going to quit worried about it, honestly.
And if he has a contract on that.
Yeah.
Enter it, we're good. I mean,
That's the key to committed. Either spent or committed.
Yes.
It sounds like for that, we would probably have to go through the gen mill of getting an ARPA project approved.
the other possibility, whatever is uncommitted at the end, or at the December meeting, whatever we have that's left uncommitted. And I'll have to look into this and talk to Julie, Marie, and Mark. But we know that one of the possibilities is legal and administrative fees that can easily move forward because until 26, it's not done. So we could they could write up a contract with more than what they're actually going to spend. And as we get into 25, we might be able to, I'll have to check into that though.
Well, would that, fall, I mean, I know like Mike contracts hours for consulting and all that stuff. You know, even Nate contracts hours for consulting and stuff. Would that be considered a commitment for those funds? I mean, cause
We could look in the final interim rule, and we just had that at auditors conference when we discussed that whole thing.
I'm looking here at the
Basically said-
WebEx project still has $10,000 in it, for instance.
Yeah, and there's, like, some of the generator costs haven't come in yet either.
Right there. I'm assuming those generator costs are still
But
out
they
there.
will be coming in. I've already talked to Rick about that. I've got some contracts entered for some of that. But at the conference, what they basically said was, for example, the storage
Right.
thing. If you can work up a contract now, maybe not knowing everything, but you go ahead and contract it as you, in 25, you can make changes to that as long as it doesn't substantially change the scope of the project. That's how it was worded, so, you know, you could probably work that out, and you could say storage facility for records, this, that, and the other, and I'm sure we can get a contract with somebody for whatever amount we have, and as long as we don't change the scope of it, if it is indeed a storage room that we're doing, I think we'd be okay. From what they were
Well,
saying in conference.
and anything like that we'd have to do would have to be done in time to advertise it for their December meeting.
Thank you.
Well, but if it's already approved ARPA expenditures and we're just waiting on the invoice or the contract, man, council doesn't have to reapprove that.
No, that,
But
no,
if we're gonna reallocate to a bridge, for instance,
right, we
that
would.
hasn't been approved, council would have to approve that.
The 500,000 was already approved, so
Right.
whatever's left in that, as long as it's under that project, which that would be, then all we have to do is get the contract. We don't have to further.
So maybe we need to reach out to as Stan mentioned, we need to reach out to each one of these project managers and say, are your invoices all in? If not, have you got contracts? What else are you gonna spend? And figure out what money's gonna be left over.
And I have actually emailed, I think, everybody on there in that regard. Mike is aware of it because Mike is helping with Geneva and Monroe IT stuff.
Yeah.
As well as some of his, so. I'm
Like
working with the ones that
the
have-
American Structure Point contract. I would prefer not to go back to them and say, give me an ad for $25,000 and we'll figure it out later. I'd rather use the money
Yeah.
here.
And if we get whatever that contract is and we know the rest isn't going to be spent, we can put that in the unallocated and
Yeah, you've got,
tie it to whatever.
yeah, you can go ahead and enter that one.
Probably have to wait for them to sign it too, do you think?
Maybe. Yeah.
Probably. Be an actual official.
We got time. They'll get that signed in a week or
Like
two.
we have, the crisis center still has money in there and they, Jody Mayworth's in charge of that now. We've let her know we need this by the end of the year.
Figure it
so
out, yeah.
I think
Good.
I've contacted everybody on there. Jeremy's been getting some stuff in and
Cause they were gonna do windows and stuff like that over
Yeah.
there.
Good deal.
they're going to get that contract. I'll have to probably contact them again.
I'm good. It sounds to me like we have a fallback position. We weren't gonna lose the money. I just didn't want to lose the money.
Whatever we have to reappropriate better be in time for their December meeting.
Right. Yeah, if we've got a bunch of money that we need to spend on a bridge, then that has to go to council.
Okay.
That's what, 10th of December.
All right.
Yeah, something like that.
Nothing else, gentlemen? All right, accept a motion to,
So moved.
Second.
okay, meeting adjourned.